Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been paying close attention to the Eagles this season, you already know that despite their perfect 4-0 start, there's a lot of chatter around the team, especially when it comes to their secondary. And that's what we're diving into today. Because, let's be honest, the Eagles' defense has been impressive overall, but they've also faced some challenges, particularly at the cornerback position. And this could be a pivotal point in their quest for a Super Bowl repeat. You see, veteran Adoree Jackson, who was brought in to bolster their secondary, has had his struggles in coverage. It's not unusual for a veteran to hit some rough patches, but it's clearly been a concern for the Eagles, coaching staff and fans alike. Jackson, while experienced, has been a liability at times, and that's put some pressure on the younger players to step up. Meanwhile, the trade acquisition Jakorian Bennett, who the Eagles brought in to add depth, has yet to fully find his footing. He's only been on the field for about 24 snaps before he got injured, which further complicates the situation. And now, with both Jackson and Bennett sidelined with injuries, the Eagles had to give a shot to someone else. That someone else was third-year corner Kelly Ringo, who was handed his first start of the season in this past game. And let me tell you, Ringo had some moments of promise, but overall, his performance left many fans a little uneasy. He had his ups and downs, which is understandable for a young player, but nothing that would totally inspire confidence. This situation has led many Eagles fans to wonder if the team might make another move before the trade deadline to shore up that CB2 spot. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Because, as we all know, having a reliable, high-quality cornerback is crucial in today's NFL. Passing attacks are more potent than ever, and locking down the opposition's best receivers can be the difference between winning and losing. The Eagles are in a unique position to improve their secondary, especially since they're contending for another deep playoff run. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, there's a potential target for the Eagles, a player who might be available for trade. That player is Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks. Woolen, a 26-year-old cornerback, has had a roller coaster of a season so far. He's a one-time Pro Bowler and was the co-interception leader in his rookie year back in 2022. When you look at his track record, Woolen has shown flashes of brilliance. He recorded a Pro Football Focus coverage grade of 65.7 or better in each of his first 3 NFL seasons, which is solid for a cornerback. For comparison, Ringo finished Week 4 with a grade of 64.8, so Woolen has historically been a reliable player when at his best. But of course, no story is that simple. This season, Woolen has struggled a bit more, with a pass coverage grade of just 41, which is quite a dip from his usual standards. This drop in performance has some fans questioning whether Woolen is really a good fit, or if the Seahawks are simply open to moving him. The issue that has dogged Woolen throughout his career is tackling. He's missed 39 tackles across his 4 seasons, which is a concern for any team looking for a dependable cover man. Still, it's worth noting that his coverage grade has been improving week after week this season, and if he comes to a team like the Eagles, a legitimate Super Bowl contender, there's a good chance he could bounce back and regain his confidence. Trading for Woolen would be a low-risk, high-reward move for the Eagles. His stock might be a little low right now, which means the Eagles wouldn't need to break the bank to acquire him. And if he manages to turn things around, the Eagles could have found a real steal, a player who can upgrade their secondary significantly. It's the kind of move that could make all the difference in the postseason, especially when facing top-tier offenses. Imagine the impact Woolen could have if he finds his rhythm again, giving the Eagles a reliable CB2 that can step up in critical moments. Now, let's take a moment to analyze the bigger picture. The Eagles have a roster filled with talented individuals, Jalen Hurts leading the offense, a strong offensive line, and a defense that's been opportunistic. But the secondary, especially at cornerback, has been a bit of a question mark. This is a team that's built to win now, and making a move to solidify their secondary before the trade deadline could be a game changer. The Eagles' front office, led by Howie Roseman, has a track record of being aggressive in trades, and this season could be no different. If Roseman makes the right call, bringing in a player like Woolen or another talented cornerback, it could bolster their chances of making a deep playoff run and ultimately getting back to the Super Bowl. What's also interesting is how Woolen's potential move fits into the Eagles' defensive scheme. With their aggressive, ball-hawking style, adding a player with Woolen's potential for big plays and coverage ability could amplify their strengths. The fact that Woolen has shown improvement in his coverage grade this season indicates that he's still developing and has the capacity to adapt to a new system. It's not just about filling a gap, but about adding a player who can elevate the entire secondary, giving the coaching staff more flexibility and options in their defensive schemes. Of course, all of this depends on a lot of factors: what Seattle's asking price is, how Woolen feels about a potential change of scenery, and whether the Eagles' front office sees him as the right fit. But it's clear that the possibility of a trade here isn't just speculation. It's a strategic move that could pay off big time if executed properly. And if the Eagles can land Woolen for a reasonable price, they'd be getting a player who, despite some struggles this season, has the talent and track record to be a difference-maker in the playoffs. So, as we look ahead to the trade deadline, keep an eye on the Eagles. They're always active, always looking for ways to improve, and this season, that might mean making a bold move to secure their secondary. Fans should be excited because it's moves like these that can turn a good team into a championship contender. And honestly, the potential to bring in a player like Woolen and see him flourish in Philadelphia is an enticing prospect that could define this season's success. Now, I want to switch gears a little and talk about the overall outlook for the Eagles. Despite some of the concerns at cornerback, they've been remarkably resilient. Jalen Hurts has continued to impress, showing why he's considered one of the top quarterbacks in the league. His ability to extend plays and make clutch throws keeps the Eagles in games, even when some parts of the team are facing adversity. The offensive line has been solid, providing Hurts with the protection he needs to operate efficiently. And the defense, aside from some secondary issues, has been opportunistic and gritty, often coming up with key turnovers at crucial moments. What's really exciting for Eagles fans is that this team has a clear window to contend. They're well-coached, motivated, and hungry for another Super Bowl appearance. The challenge is, of course, to address the secondary before the deadline, because the playoffs will only get more intense, and every possession will matter even more. That's why a move for Woolen or another similar player is so strategic. It's not just about patching a hole, it's about making a statement that the Eagles are serious about repeating as champions and not settling for just a good regular season. And let's not forget, the NFC East is getting tougher. The Cowboys had a strong start, and the Giants are always lurking around, ready to surprise. But the Eagles, with their talent and leadership, especially if they add that extra piece in the secondary, can solidify their dominance in the division. It's about setting the tone early and showing everyone that they're still the team to beat. The NFC is wide open, and the Eagles have everything they need to make a deep playoff run. They just need to fine-tune a few things, like that cornerback position, to truly maximize their potential. Looking ahead, the coaching staff and front office will be scrutinized heavily because the decisions they make now could define the rest of the season. Do they pull the trigger on a trade for Woolen? Do they explore other options? Whatever they decide, it's clear that the goal is to build a team that's not just good enough to make the playoffs, but to go all the way and reclaim that Lombardi trophy. The Eagles know what's at stake, and with the talent they have, a smart move now could be the difference between a deep postseason run and an early exit. And for the fans watching at home, this is what makes NFL season so exciting: the constant possibility of change, of strategic moves, and of moments that could be talked about for years to come. The Eagles are in a great spot, but the window to make that extra push is closing fast. The trade deadline is right around the corner, and teams are scrambling to make those last-minute adjustments. The question is, will Howie Roseman and the Eagles front office be bold enough to make a move that could define their season? That's what we're all waiting for, and honestly, I can't wait to see what unfolds. In conclusion, while the Eagles have started the season strong and sit at 4-0, the secondary remains a concern that could cost them down the line if not addressed. The potential acquisition of Woolen from the Seahawks seems like a move that could be low risk but high reward, giving them that extra boost in coverage and playmaking. Woolen's history, combined with his recent struggles and ongoing improvement, makes him an intriguing target for Philadelphia. And with the team's championship aspirations, making a strategic move to solidify the CB2 spot could be the final piece that pushes them over the edge. The Eagles have the talent, the coaching, and the drive, but sometimes it's those bold, calculated trades that turn good teams into champions. So, Eagles fans, stay tuned, because the next few weeks could be some of the most exciting in recent franchise history. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Finally, I want to hear from you, the dedicated Eagles fans. What do you think about this potential move for Woolen? Do you believe it's the kind of addition that can help them finally bring home another Super Bowl? Or do you think they should explore other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see how this season unfolds for our beloved birds. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Eagles!